I hope you are having a fantastic day, and thank you for stopping by, fellow fans of Clash of Clans. It's your host, Galadon, and today, a pressing topic, an answer to a question that everybody wants to know: how many cakes, and how can I get more of them, and how can I get my base to spawn them where I want? So I thought today we would kind of go into a little bit more detail about the spawning of obstacles and special obstacles in your base. And it's true, how you can optimize your base to try to get more anniversary cakes before they stop spawning. So recently I had an opportunity to speak with one of the members of the Clash of Clans design team at Supercell and kind of pick his brain about what is going on with the special obstacles, the anniversary cake, and so on and so forth. And by the way, I also asked them if they could to try to add a sound effect to the party queen, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, so as you may or may not already know, we are seeing 9th anniversary cakes spawn like crazy, and I would assume that by the time this episode airs, well, I don't know how many cakes are going to spawn total for everybody's base and what is the absolute maximum. You can see based upon previous years that the number has not been static. Anywhere from 4 to 8 of the special anniversary obstacles seem to want to spawn, and I'll tell you right now, the member of the Clash of Clans design team I spoke to did not know, one, how many cakes total could spawn at maximum, or B, how long the event lasts before they stop spawning, although I would guess that it coincides with the end of the Clash Anniversary Challenge and the special skin that's for sale in the shop. Okay, so before I go into how to get more cakes, let's talk a little bit about Clash of Clans history and how to get stuff to spawn where you want it to spawn. This is an old Galadon and Peter $17 video that was made talking about how to get a gem box to spawn where you wanted it to. Because back in the old days of Clash of Clans, this was 7 years ago, there were no such things as shovels that you could use to move items around in your base. Now, I know I complain that shovels are overpriced, but at the same time, they are some of the coolest items in the game because now you can magically move stuff around, including, even if you wanted to, your gem box. So Peter was always a little bit fixated on the gem box. He wanted to try to get one to spawn in the middle of his village. So we made an episode that dedicated itself to showing players how to design a base that would do that. Now, things have changed since then, and in this old video, you could leave 2x2 spaces and obstacles would not spawn in those areas. Nowadays, things have slightly changed, the border of buildings has changed, and if you want to exclude an item from spawning in a particular spot, you have to leave less than a 2x2 space. So this was an example of an imperfect gem box base back then because, as you can see, all of those edge spots around the outside are also spots where the gem boxes could spawn. So let's go to a modern day village and build ourselves a spawner base. This is a base where nothing can pop up anywhere except for on the outside border of the base. And the way we're doing this is by leaving no 2x2 space open. You'll notice that there is not a space in the entire interior of this base once we're done where you could fit, say, a hidden Tesla or an Inferno Tower, a 2x2 item like that. Won't fit anywhere. If you can do that and pass that test, then you have a perfect spawner base, and that only leaves the outsides of the base where items can spawn. But this is where it gets tricky, and this is where the information from Supercell is critical. So you've built yourself a base like this, and also notice, by the way, if an opponent looks at this base, they're going to think there are gaps in here because they can't see the bombs and the Teslas, right? So those are going to be hidden to them, but you will know that your base is ready to spawn the special obstacles around the outside. Now, a little bit about obstacles in general. Yes, it is true that you can only have 45 obstacles in your base, but this refers to regular obstacles. The trees, the shrubs, the bushes, the trunks, those are limited to 45. The special obstacles don't count towards that number, although if you have 45 or more special obstacles, the regular trees will cease to spawn within your village. Now, how do these things spawn? Let's take an example of the lucky shrub, and this could be a cake for the 9th anniversary cake. It is a 2x2 square, and what is happening is, and this is again according to Supercell, The code says, all right, it is time to spawn your first cake in your village. It is different for everybody as to when that first cake shows up, usually within a 24-hour window. The game will attempt to find a 2x2 spot randomly throughout your village. If it is a special obstacle or a gem box, the game will continue to seek until it finds that successful spot where it can actually place the obstacle, and then that is voila, where it will appear. And then that will happen continually about every 24 hours. Apparently there is a time window. It could be like between 20 and 30 hours before you see another one. So that's why some players have more than others, that the next one spawns, and they will continue to spawn until the event is over, which at this point we can only assume is probably going to end right around the time this video comes out, and that is when the 9th Clashiversary Challenge and the scenery both disappear from the events tab. So by then, hopefully you've spawned all of the cakes that you want. You'll notice right here, Galadon 13.0 actually has 6 cakes at the time of making this video, whereas my Galadon 6.0 only has 3 cakes. Some of this variance could be due to the different spawn timers on each individual base, but also it seems apparent that inactivity may cause you to cease spawning special obstacles. We don't know how often you need to log on or maybe attack or be attacked in order to be an active base, an active candidate to receive said special obstacles. But if we go to the defensive log on my Galadon 6.0 account and we start to scroll through the defenses, you'll notice that there is a big 10-day gap here where I didn't take any defenses. Now, obviously, sometimes you're not going to be hit for a day or two, but for 10 days, that means most likely that that account did go inactive and it didn't show up in the queue to be attacked by other players, which also could mean it was ineligible to receive special obstacles. So that's something we have to keep in mind, and that is why you've got to keep playing. We don't know how much or how often, but it definitely seems to have an effect on the number of obstacles that you can receive. Now, again, in the developer build, when I played it, there were a maximum of 9 9th anniversary cakes, which seems to make complete sense, right? 9 for 9, even though in past years it didn't always coincide with the number of the anniversary. Also, it is possible that you could clear cakes and have more spawn and end up at that same number. For instance, if the event goes on for 11 days and you're spawning a cake every 24 hours and you've got 9 cakes, then you won't spawn any more cakes the last 2 days of the event unless you clear a cake. Then it could respawn cake number 9 one more time. And then technically you could spawn a total of 11 cakes during the anniversary event, but never have more than 9 on your base at any given time. All right, so I hope this wasn't too confusing. Stop by a Facebook live stream if you would like to discuss or ask more questions. In the meantime, the moral of the story is play often, and you can make a base if you don't want to have to use a shovel to move an obstacle to the outside. Thank you so much, Galafam, for sticking around all the way to the end of the episode. Please consider subscribing, leaving a like on the video. You are the true hashtag Galafam. That is why I love thinking about it and appreciate every single one of you every single day. So get out there and make the best of the rest of your day. Be kind to other people, animals, and the planet. I'll see you back here again tomorrow. Don't you wish I did the whole video this fast for more full attacks?
Galadon saw your whole 8-minute video in 8 seconds. Want more cakes? Play more Clash.